Life had always been simple in Samuel's home, not empty, not sad. Just simple. Samuel lived with his wife, Ruth, and their two beautiful daughters in a small apartment at the edge of town. They were not rich, but they were peaceful. Samuel worked hard every day. Ruth sold small items in the market. Together, they survived every evening. They sat together. They talked. They laughed. They ate what they had, and most times, that was enough. But outside their home was a different world, a world of comparison. Their neighbors were rich. Very rich, new cars, big parties, loud music, expensive lifestyles. On their street, life felt like a competition. Who was doing better? Who had more money? Who was living large? And often, people asked Samuel questions that disturbed his peace. How is life treating you? When will you upgrade? Are things moving at all? Samuel always smiled. We thank God, he would say. We're managing. But inside him, something was breaking. This particular period was different. The pressure felt heavier. His friends, men he grew up with, were suddenly doing well. They spoke boldly about money, deals, and achievements. One evening, Samuel came home unusually quiet. Ruth noticed immediately. What's wrong? She asked. Samuel sighed deeply. I'm tired of being the poor one. Ruth looked at him carefully. We're not poor, she said softly. We're surviving. Samuel shook his head. That's what poor people say. A few days later, Samuel met a man named Mark. Mark was a money lender. They spoke casually at first. Then Mark said something dangerous. Sometimes, Mark said, you need to look successful first. Money will follow. Those words stayed in Samuel's mind. That night, Samuel could not sleep. He turned on the bed, thinking. By morning, he had made a decision. Against his wife's advice, Samuel borrowed 500,000 Nigerian nairas from Mark. The money came with heavy interest. I'll pay it back soon, Samuel said confidently. Things will work out. Ruth was afraid. But what if things don't work out? She asked. Samuel smiled. Trust me. Soon, Samuel's home changed. New items filled the house. Plenty food. Music played often. Samuel wore new clothes. Ruth wore a beautiful dress. Their daughters laughed and danced around the house. Neighbors noticed immediately. Samuel. They said, you didn't tell us you were doing this well. People visited. People ate. People praised him. For the first time in a long time, Samuel felt important. For a moment, he felt successful. But when the excitement faded, when visitors stopped coming, reality returned. Ruth sat quietly one evening, staring into space. She knew the truth. The happiness was borrowed. Then the calls started. At first, Mark was polite. When can I get my money? He asked. Samuel begged for time. The calls became harsh. Then Mark came to the house. With other men, neighbors gathered. Mark shouted loudly, you borrowed my money to show off. Samuel begged. Ruth cried. Their daughters clung to their mother's wrapper, trembling. No one helped. The same neighbors who once praised Samuel now laughed. So it was borrowed money? We knew it. That day, Samuel was arrested, dragged away, publicly disgraced. At the police station, Samuel sat quietly with his head bowed. The walls were cold. The shame was heavier. He thought about his wife, his children. And that one decision. The money he borrowed to impress people had destroyed his peace. Later, Samuel was released, But everything had changed. That night, there was no food, no music, no joy. Samuel sat on the floor and cried, not loudly, quietly. The kind of cry that breaks a man inside. Ruth sat beside him. We were happy before, she said gently. Samuel nodded. I wanted applause, he said. I didn't know it would cost us peace. That night, Samuel learned a painful lesson. Do not borrow money to impress people. Contentment is wealth. People will enjoy your good moments, but they will not share your consequences. Wear what you can afford, eat what you have, because when the excitement ends, debt remains, and applause disappears.